Hey guys, Brian here, Stogie Review, IPCPR 2017. I'm here with Willy Herrera. He's so legendary I can barely say his name. We're in the
already
Drew Estate
17,
booth.
man.
It's already 17. I keep wanting to say 15 for some reason. What happened?
I know. I don't know what happened, man. This
What happened
show
to us?
just came out of nowhere.
We got old, didn't we? Or maybe I got old. I don't know.
Let's not talk about the age thing here, man. Let's talk about cigars. Let's talk about the
about
Pappy,
cigars. Yeah, right,
the
let's talk
Pappy
about
tradition here. So the Pappy tradition is one of our three, I guess, highlights for the show this year. Tell you the special connection I have with this cigar is I was in my family's factory at El Titan in Little Havana working, and Jonathan invites me to Nicaragua for the first time. I've never been to Central America, much less seen an operation like Drew Estate. So gives me the tour of the country, gives me the tour of the factory, and when we're done with the tour, we end up in the blending room. So I'm freaking out. I'm looking at all this tobacco because I've never seen any of this, most of this tobacco. I've only had access to about 6 or 7 tobaccos in our little factory in Miami. And so he sees the look in my face and he's like, dude, have some fun, blend some stuff. So I blended 3 different blends, took a bundle of each home with me, and forgot about it. Never had an idea of ever, working with Drew Estate or, it was never in my head. So
You didn't realize you were interviewing for a job that day.
John's always thinking a few steps ahead, so he ends up taking a lot of those cigars to the office. They were a hit, and I guess it was John's way of kind of showing the guys there, this guy really does know what he's talking about and what he's doing. Fast forward a few months, we have dinner. He asks me, hey, what do you think about joining Drew Estate? And all that talk starts. I joined Drew Estate. I totally forget about all those blends that I did because as soon as I joined Drew Estate, I dove right into the project of Herrera Esteli. Fast forward to about a year ago, the family asked us to do another project for them. The original one was the Pappy Family Reserve.
Family Reserve.
Now that's more of a non-traditional cigar because some of the tobaccos are barrel aged, and so it has hints of the bourbon and stuff like that. So when they approach us to do more of the traditional stuff, at that point I'm already the master blender for the company, so I blend everything that we do. Well, did a bunch of blends, sent them a bunch of samples, and among those samples was one of those original 3 that I did on my visit to Drew Estate, and that's the one that he picked. That's the one that Julian Van Winkle picked for, I'm going to call it his cigar, because it was more his project. The Family Reserve was more of his daughter's project for the family, and yeah, that makes that cigar like super special for me because I basically blended that cigar without really having experience with those tobaccos. It just it worked out, and it was kind of a stepping stone into getting hired, I guess.
So you're saying beginner's luck, right?
No, man, because all 3 came out really good. So unless it was like stupid luck, and you hit all 3, great.
Just messing with you.
But it was good, I know. But yeah, man, real special project. Oh, and another thing. So the family, that one's only distributed through the family's website.
Yeah, and that sells out pretty quick from what
Really
I've seen.
quick,
Yeah.
really quick. And now this, we are going to be able to distribute it. So Drew Estate will distribute the Pappy Tradition, but it will only be available to DDRP accounts.
Okay.
It will be sort of limited because there's only 2,300 boxes of each size. So it will be limited. It'll be released once a year. In October, they release the bourbons, I understand.
Yeah.
And so we're going to coincide the release of this with the release of the bourbons.
That's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
You know how crazy people are about that bourbon.
I know.
They go nuts.
I know. So it's going to create a nice little frenzy.
Indeed.
That's the story.
I did smoke a sample of the tradition. I haven't had everything else that's new in the booth, but that was my favorite thing so far in the booth that I've had.
So you know, we take care of you. We'll hook you up with some of the other stuff.
So you want to talk about anything else? So we gonna stick
We'll
with
touch on the FSG. So the FSG is a project that we did with Jeff Borshowitz from Corona Cigars in Orlando. He wanted to bring back the growing of tobacco to Florida, to the U.S. Specifically Florida. It had been over 100 years since they had grown tobacco in Florida. And so he started this, I guess, 3 years ago or so, the process of growing tobacco again. And the deal was, you know, we would stand fully behind him and we would use all the tobacco he got out of the farm to produce cigars for him. And that was the deal. Originally, he was going through the growing pains and not enough tobacco was coming out, usable tobacco was coming out. And so the cigars that I created for him, I did 2 different blends, 2 different lines. One is a limited, 1 size only, and then the regular line has 4 sizes. They're both 2 completely different blends, but because of the limitations, it was only available through his stores, the Corona stores in Orlando. You know, he's been going through the learning process. He's getting a lot more tobacco out of it. So now we're able to get enough cigars out of there, or make enough cigars with the tobacco he's getting out for us to distribute the cigar as well for him. So now he's part of the family and we're distributing that cigar as well.
Yeah, that was neat. We get to talk to him a little earlier and he was showing us all of the leaves strung up. And
it's a beautiful facility he has built out there. And it's real special because it's, you know, it hadn't been done in over 100 years. Yeah. So, you know, he kind of said, I'm going to do this, and he did it. He's doing it.
Yeah.
It's great.
The bio reports it's good, so we shall see.
I'll hook you up, man.
Yeah.
I know somebody.
You know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy.
So you also did the...
Well, and the third is the Undercrown Sun-Grown. The Undercrown Sun-Grown, I worked with the team. So I've been dying to work with Ecuadorian Sumatra Sun-Grown wrapper. But we were never able to get enough for what we would need for our production. So finally, a year ago, we got word that they would be able to, you know, allocate the sufficient amount of wrapper that we would need, and we started working on that project. So worked on the Undercrown Sun-Grown with the team at Nika to kind of produce something to fill the gap in the Undercrown family. You know, we had the Undercrown Shade that we released, I believe was last year. Then we had the original, the Maduro, but we still had that, you know, that natural looking color missing. And so, I mean, that cigar, like I said, Sun-Grown, Sumatra is one of my favorite seeds wrappers. And so, you know, it was a really fun project working with the team with that and kind of fill that void. And I think it's a great, you know, compliment to the line. So really excited about that as well.
You know, it occurred to me while you were talking about that to go back to the Florida Sun-Grown.
Yeah.
Right over there.
Right here.
Is that a difficult leaf to work with? Because that's got to be pretty unique, right?
Very difficult.
What would you describe like the flavor profile of it being? Or is that even easy to describe?
It's not. It's so unique, but in a good way. It's very similar to the Kentucky Fire Cure tobacco we use. That no matter the size no matter the size or piece you put in any cigar, you know it's there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with this tobacco. It's Corojo 99.
Okay.
But it's completely different from any other Corojo. You know, you got Corojo 99 all over Nicaragua. And they're so polar opposite in taste profile. There's no way to describe it.
Growing regions are very important.
It's unbelievable. I mean, the soils there, it's very high in sulfur.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that's what adds that uniqueness to that tobacco. And it's very unique, and I love it. I'm super happy that now we could distribute it, because now I don't have to order it through his store. Now I could have access to it at our warehouse. Nice. Because I really do. I smoke them all the time when I could get them.
I'm assuming I'm going to get notes of Gator in there.
No, man, no notes of Gator. You're gonna get these very unique notes that you're gonna see like, what is this? And it's gonna drive you crazy because I know who you are.
Yeah.
But real good stuff.
So you have to, like when processing that, you have to age it any longer, cure it any
You have to
quickly?
age a little bit longer
Yeah.
because they do come out very thick.
Yeah.
So it does take a little bit longer in the pilons.
Okay.
And to get that, too much of that flavor profile is not a very good one.
Looking for balance there, right?
Yes, yes. And then, you have to really work with different tobaccos that have a strong flavor profile as well. So when they're blended together, they just come out. You won't get too much of one tobacco and you won't get too much of the Florida tobacco. So it just blends, to me, perfectly. Perfectly. One has got the broadleaf and the other's got Brazilian Matafina wrapper. And both blends, binders are different, the fillers are different, and they just complement the tobacco.
You're gonna come out with a Civil War cigar or something like that that has Kentucky
Hey.
cured in Florida sun-grown?
Whatever DE wants to do.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm the traditional guy, the smaller size guy,
Sure.
the more Cuban style guy. So if Drew wants to come up with something crazy, we'll work on something crazy.
You need both angles to get it done, right? You need the creative angle and you need the tradition, right?
Listen,
there.
man,
Yeah.
we work as a team, and everybody's got, parts that somebody else is stronger in.
Sure.
And that's the beauty about Drew Estate. We all work as a well-oiled machine, and we come up with stuff, and it works. It works just because, the way we work together, there's no egos. Nobody does one thing better than the other guy. Everybody has, certain roles, and you need all those roles to get a monster like this to run the way it runs. So it's a special thing.
True, yeah. Well, thanks for taking a few minutes to talk to us, sir.
Absolutely, man.
Appreciate that.
For you, anything, brother.
Yeah, I like to hear that.